Did we make it out there? We still hanging in there? XRP family, it's February 25th, 2025, and we're talking XRP Relief Rally. We're talking laugh now, but one day XRP will power the world. Are you tapped in with us? If you're new here, make sure you guys have subscribed. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates. We've been locked in here now, back on our regular schedule, Tuesday, Thursday live shows, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. And then we also do our Discord weekly call every Saturday at 11:30 a.m. If you want to get a little bit more intimate with our private group over there, have access to me. That's all available at my website, zachrector.com. You sign up through Patreon to get access to Discord. We have XRP family merch available, along with other community resources at the website. That's your quick word from the sponsor. We have a lot to cover here tonight, so I'm going to get right on into it. Our content is doing really well right now, and we're really locked in on getting a message out to the community that we, can understand what's happening right now in these markets. The February flush out, as I'm now calling it, and I just want to say thank you for your support. When you guys like our videos, drop a comment, share it out far and wide. You guys are helping other XRP family members, along with new people, get tapped in and stay locked in, stay focused, not get distracted, not get left behind, not panic sell during what has been one of the most coordinated events in cryptocurrency history. Between the largest liquidation event, and I'm going to simplify this for everybody, this is not the biggest amount of market cap loss. Liquidation, what that means is that basically people that are going long or short, they get liquidated because, for example, if you've been long over the past 48 hours, you probably got wrecked because nearly every chart came back down. So when you go down and basically below your level of margin, you get what's called margin called. And if you don't have margin, you get liquidated. And so the largest liquidation event in the history of cryptocurrency started off the month of February on February 3rd. That was 2 billion is what they tell us. The real number was probably actually 8 to 10 billion. And this is a conversation that they're starting to have now about the transparency about how much is actually getting liquidated from the clients of these centralized exchanges. This is a topic of discussion right now. So basically the largest liquidation event in the history of cryptocurrency to start off the month. Next week, Valentine's Day. Hopefully you weren't hoping on the pump returns from Libra coin from Javier Milei, the president of Argentina. If you were relying on gains from that coin to pay for Valentine's Day dinner for you and wifey, or your significant other, you probably were swinging through McDonald's drive-thru to hit the dollar menu if you did have a dollar left because you got cleaned on the largest president meme coin rug pull, and that was February 14th. We weren't done yet, though. Crypto space wasn't done. And so we wanted to top it off with another record-setting largest hack in the history of cryptocurrency last week. Was it a hack? You guys let me know in the comments down below. What has taken place since, okay? Now, markets kind of chilled out over the weekend briefly before they started to continue cascading down. And then basically over the last 24 hours, we had another mass liquidation event, XRP going down to $2.06, Bitcoin going down to about 87,000. I think it might have even hit 86 today. We really got cleaned out. And in my update earlier today, I broke this down in detail about why this happened, about the liquidity crisis for stablecoins, and the way that these centralized exchanges, particularly Bybit, the exchange that got hacked, was able to get Tether back was by basically nuking all the charts. It liquidated all of the long positions, and they were able to scoop up all that Tether off the books and put it in their pockets. And so that brings us to where we're at here right now. We went through this. XRP's already bouncing. That's why I'm titling tonight's episode XRP Relief Rally. I'm not going to call it a pump yet. I know that might trigger some people. So I'm going to wait a little bit till we get back over $3, and then maybe I'll start talking about a pump. But you better prepare. You better prepare yourself accordingly, because on my chart, it's looking like we still double it up and triple it up for XRP over the next 30 to 60 days, bringing us in and really leading a broader alt season. And I'm getting ready to take profit on some of these positions right now. And I tell you what, the updates that we got today on the XRP ledger is fantastic. A lot of these developments, case conclusion, ETF, all of this is going to take us to a lot higher prices later on this year. But I'm just locked in right now on the next 30 to 60 days in the life-changing opportunity that it presents for our community. So without further ado, I'm going to get into today's news, current events, financial markets, and how we are taking advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. We want to get you on the right side of this thing, not on the side that's getting liquidated and having to give up your position, but the side that's, the bear by the fireplace roasting our marshmallows with our bags packed in cold storage, not having to worry about getting hacked because our wallets don't interact with anything. They don't interact with DeFi. They don't interact with the malicious smart contract. And we got smart contracts coming to the XRP ledger. We'll be talking about that more later. But we've been sitting back enjoying the show, and we've been staying focused on what's coming down the road here. Let's get it. Anna Paulina Luna giving us the update from the DC swamp, which the House did just go past the reconciliation budget bill. This is the Trump budget bill. Did get passed, and it does include no tax on tips, no tax on OT, no tax on senior citizens, Social Security. Social Security is in the clear. And America's first tax break for products manufactured in the United States. I'd be interested to see what all is included in that. And a balanced budget resolution, meaning at a minimum, it's a deficit neutral. Now, I saw Thomas Massie heading to the floor saying why he was going to vote no on this bill because it does add $300 billion, I believe, right around, give or take. I mean, what does it matter anymore? A billion here, a billion there, 100 billion, a trillion. What does it matter, right? This bill does add a few $100 billion to the deficit. And so you have hardline conservatives like Thomas Massie saying, no, I'm voting no on this. But that did not stop the Republicans and Democrat majority coming to the table and passing this bill. It moves to the Senate now. Obviously, Republican majority in the Senate. We expect that to pass very soon. And so President Trump is going to be able to tout his budget proposal, this budget reconciliation budget bill getting passed, and promises made, promises kept as far as no tax on tips, OT, and senior citizen Social Security. But I think this is just the start, and we're going to talk more about that here in just one second. President Trump also creating a gold card program allowing foreigners to pay $5 million to enter the United States and create jobs. So a new incentive program here for, bringing in new folks, $5 million, a pay to play. And what gets interesting too is, the thinking and these debates that have been happening lately between, hey, should we sell off our gold to buy Bitcoin to pay back the debt? Should we sell off our gold to pay back the debt? Should we buy Bitcoin to pay back the debt? If we buy 1 million Bitcoin every year for 5 years, we'll be able to do something in a deal. I've been saying to throw that crap out the window. Throw it out. I've been saying that for a while here because I just don't think that we're going to be paying it back. And if we are, we're going to be a little bit more creative. And this goes back to a book that I read by President Trump called Thinking Big and Kicking Ass. Okay. This is the master of the art of the deal. He thinks outside of the box. And he's also a master of taking corporations and companies through bankruptcy process. A strategic default, restructure, revaluation, reset. Does it sound familiar? It's exactly what we're going through. And so this idea really out of the box to now basically, he brought forward the tariffs. This is something that really wasn't on the table or being discussed. So first we move on the tariffs. That's kind of outside the box. And then now he proposes this one, 5 million pay to play. What's interesting though is how few people would have to do this for this to actually erase, our debt if we were going to do so. This is Michael Girdley says, I swear I was thinking this yesterday. What if we started selling citizenship to retire the national debt? At 5 million a pop, we need to sell 7 million of them to zero out the debt. I love the idea. And many countries actually have something similar to this. This is actually very normal. We're moving our immigration policies actually more back to normal instead of just having wide open doors, come on in and have a good time and hop on board the gravy train. So we're actually moving back more towards normal. And, for me, I just want to hear from you guys in the comments down below what you think about some of these proposals, what it could be going towards, and your thoughts on what we are going to use to pay off the debt, or if we even are going to pay it off. Like I said, I don't really care to debate too much getting into the weeds on what we're going to use to pay back the debt until we acknowledge how much we really have, because that's another thing that we're finding out is that we're paying Social Security benefits to people that are 360 years old. and there hasn't been new life expansion programs to do, to extend life that long. These are people that have already passed away that we're paying benefits to. So first we need to understand what we owe before we even determine, are we going to be paying that back or what needs to be paid back? And then we can move forward. And this is, to that point, the VA Secretary Collins says we canceled $2 billion in waste, funds redirected to veterans care. Quote, we found nearly $2 billion in the Department of Veteran Affairs contracts that we'll be canceling so we can redirect the funds back to veterans' healthcare and benefits. No more paying consultants to do things like make PowerPoint slides and write meeting minutes. So already we're seeing deals get done. And I know I saw some people when I mentioned that there was going to be some layoffs at the VA. People were like, oh, this is terrible, cutting veterans' benefits. No, absolutely not. No, we're cutting administrative bloat, people that were getting into the way. And when you reduce this, you can actually give more money and more benefits to the veterans and the people that these programs are intended for. These are programs that I don't believe that we should get rid of. These are people that have done the service. If that's, a veteran for Social Security, these are people that have paid in. No, nobody's suggesting that we should get rid of these. In fact, we're trying to address this deficit. We're trying to address these problems so that we can continue to pay out these benefits. And so a perfect example right here, not only are the benefits not going away, we're actually securing them up. And so more waste and more, $2 billion of waste here from the VA being found, and we just absolutely love to see it. Hey, how about another good one? Acting head of the IRS, Doug O'Donnell, is announcing his retirement today. Boy, he's sure going to be missed, isn't he? And Derek Evans says abolish the IRS, and that's where this goes. When you read the Fair Tax Act of 2025, submitted by Buddy Carter, we're getting rid of the income, payroll, estate, and gift. You are going to see this country boom like never before. But what our enemy is willing to do to stop us is pretty drastic. It's pretty evil, and they're absolutely sick, which is why we're keeping our head on a swivel right now. You want more? We got more. We got a lot more, actually. Charlie Kirk responding to the most recent findings from the House Judiciary GOP. New disclosures revealed that the Biden IRS leaked taxpayer information of over 405,000 Americans, including President Trump's. The IRS's admission confirms the committee's suspicion and recent reports that show the scope of the leak was much broader than what the Biden administration's IRS initially led the public to believe. Oh, wow, they lied to us. Go figure. In May of 2024, an IRS spokesman stated that more than 70,000 taxpayers were affected. Well, that's just a little bit short, right? We found out that it is actually over 405,000. This is a massive scandal. Jim Jordan first launched his inquiry into these leaks last year, getting answers for the American people. And this is why I say we got to get the answers. Got to get them. After all the outrage and hysterics about Elon Musk and Doge accessing sensitive information, while the IRS all on its own gets caught red-handed leaking taxpayer info of over 405,000 Americans without Elon's help. And so that's where we're at right now. Every single hour we're getting an update on another billion of fraud, another billion of waste being found here. And I am 100% in favor of it. I believe that although this budget that just got passed is increasing the deficit by $300 billion, what's most important is that we're going to continue to keep the programs that Americans have already paid into, have already earned, are going to continue to getting paid out. But we're cutting off the fraud and the corruption, and hopefully, we can restructure this deal that we currently have, this current deficit, the current liabilities, unfunded liabilities being over $150 trillion. And so it's not a pretty situation, but we're moving in the right direction. And what we're uncovering is rather staggering, shocking. Some people wouldn't believe this until, we got to spoon feed this to some people. And that's what's happening right now. I'll make a quick point too on the list, right? Everybody wants the list dropped now, and I do too. It should be dropped. But this is how you play, chess, not checkers, is you get them running and squealing and you get them to expose. They get caught in the cover up. And that's what's happening right now, in my opinion. The list is ready to be dropped. And, is it going to be fully unredacted? I don't know. We'll see about that. And I am frustrated that it hasn't been released already. Absolutely. But I believe that it's a trump card. It's another trump card that he's holding on to. And at the right time, he's going to deliver. and it has the enemy running around freaking out. And in that process, we get to track who's squealing the most, and then we know where to look. Now, what happened here was not just a cover-up of the IRS leaking taxpayer information, but it was a cover-up of our economy as well, too. And so I wanted to show you guys this one right here. Oh, wait, now the U.S. Treasury Secretary is confirming what the cat has been saying all along. The U.S. private sector was barely growing. The Biden economy was one big fat scam, and the few who saw through it were considered lunatics, wisdom of the crowd. And I know personally, myself, I was called crazy, a doomer, for just acknowledging that we were in a technical recession in 2022. Now, finance law here says that we entered the recession in 2023. We entered a jobs recession in 2023. We had a technical recession from a GDP standpoint back in 2022. And I would make the point that we've had depressed growth ever since, despite our GDP prints coming in positive. And we do get a revision on our GDP coming this week here too. So we get a second revision on Q4 GDP. That should be interesting to see how well, because we saw how they revised the jobs numbers. It'll be interesting to see the revision on GDP this week. But what happened here is Yellen, Treasury Secretary Janet No Tellin' Yellen, she held the yield curve inverted for the longest period in history to hide it, allowing Biden to keep printing. I mean, these are the real mechanisms that they use. It's just like in my video today where I showed you guys and I broke down how they're using Tether and how they're using the liquidations on their platform to take your money, to cover things up. And now we're, this is the tools that Janet Yellen was using in the traditional financial world to cover up how weak our economy was, by keeping that yield curve inverted for the longest period in our history. Inverted for 700 days prior to 1929. I don't know if you guys were taught that in school. They don't really teach us this in school, right? These prior recessions and Great Depressions and cycles, right? We gotta get this one left out. We're busy focused on how do we learn how to be woke. But we inverted it for 700 days prior to 1929. And we just broke that record with Biden and Yellen inverting that yield curve for 789 days from July 5th, 2022 to September 6th, 2024. And what they were doing was they were bumping, basically, they were rolling over a bunch of treasuries into short-term T-bills. So basically, they were kicking the can down the road by just rolling over what were longer duration bonds. They were rolling them into shorter duration. And so they kept that yield curve inverted for the longest period ever. Now that yield curve has uninverted, right? And this is typically a sign that we're heading into a recession already. Now, the good news, because you've been saying, well, Zach, this is, some good stuff we are uncovering, but this doesn't look so good. When do we get to the good stuff? Well, we're getting to the good stuff right now. And the good stuff is that this problem's so big that the only way that they can address it is by increasing that deficit, by increasing money printing. And that's exactly what we're about to see. And whether or not they lower rates, as long as we get that the end of quantitative tightening, this is what's going to be enough to turn us back around. So Zero Hedge puts out this tweet here today. You can run, but you can't hide. Bitcoin finally caught down to global liquidity. The good news, that was the bottom, and now we go up. Here's the chart right here. Bitcoin versus global M2 liquidity. We got a little ahead of ourselves, and now we're bringing it back down, okay? And you see how tight this correlation is between Bitcoin and global M2 money supply. Now let's take a look here, because he also shows us right here. This is M2 here back home in the United States, rising at the fastest pace in 30 months. So quietly, that money supply globally, we saw China, also their money supply increased dramatically, big fat green candle. The global M2 supply is increasing, and Bitcoin had overextended itself. And I don't know about the correlation between the broader, the rest of the market and that M2 supply, but that'd also be interesting to take a look at. But basically, the liquidity is coming back. And the deficit, although I don't want us to increase our deficit, I want us to be doing cuts. I want us to be getting rid of debt. I want us to be at least acknowledging the debt, figuring out whether it needs to be paid back and addressing that debt. But the good news for my bags and for your bags is that if we are going to end quantitative tightening, if we are going to see money supply grow, and if we are maybe going to get a cut on interest rates at some point down the road, and at least we're done hiking, right? The markets are going to run with that story and that headline that M2 is expanding and that quantitative tightening is ending, which will be the big thing to watch for on that March 18th and 19th Fed meeting. So that's the next Fed meeting day. Although despite the Fed is going to leave rates unchanged, not make a cut, not raise rates, but not cut them, just leave them paused. The big thing that we're going to be watching for is the note that they're going to be making on quantitative tightening. If they say that quantitative tightening is ending or at least scaling back, that effectively means that we're about to expand liquidity. Now, speaking of expanding liquidity, this is a problem. And so I'm just showing you guys here real quick. I broke it down in this morning's video, but this is the problem over the weekend with Bybit was they were short on stablecoins. The CEO of Bybit was in this space on Saturday explaining how they were going to have a liquidity crunch on stablecoins. He says, we can predict our stockpile on USDT is not going to last for too long, maybe 5 to 6 hours. Well, coincidentally, after that took place, right, is when we got the largest, or not the largest, but we got another drawdown in the markets and massive liquidations, cascading liquidations taking place, leading us up all the way till today. And what did this do? This allowed Bybit to not have to take a loan from somebody else, and they got plenty of loans for Ethereum. They've already started paying back some of these Ethereum loans. They've already started the repayment process. Coincidentally, it happens right after they make, and we track about estimates between 400 to 600 million in liquidations on their platform in the past 24 hours. Is that a coincidence? Absolutely not. So I put out this tweet. I said, how did they solve the liquidity crunch? They nuked every single chart, scooping up all the tether they needed from the levered longs being liquidated. This was a month of coordinated chaos in crypto, orchestrated by the biggest market makers in the space. Really need to understand how this works. When you go to bet long or short on these futures platforms, you're using a stablecoin, primarily Tether. I'd be interested to track how much of Tether pairings conduct the trade in the futures market. I know in the broader market, just even for spot, it's like 60%. Right? It's well over half the trading in the entire cryptocurrency space is with Tether. But specifically when you bet in the futures market, most of the time you're using Tether. And so when you get liquidated, the exchange gets to take your Tether. Now, Ben from Bybit wants to say that although we liquidated you, it doesn't mean that it's profit for the exchange. And that's a load of hot you know what. Okay? This is Ben responding. Liquidation doesn't mean it's profit for the exchange. Bybit ranks number 1 in liquidation because we give full transparent data on liquidation. And that's what I was saying earlier is that this has brought up a conversation about how transparent are these exchanges being with how much of your money they're taking. Maybe they don't want you to know how much they're taking, and so they're downplaying. They're not fully transparent with how many liquidations are actually taking place, which is funny because Ben from Bybit, I believe, was one of the main guys talking about how that February 3rd largest liquidation was not 2 billion. He estimated it up at 8 to 10 billion. Fast forward a couple weeks and now his exchange just gets the largest hack in the history of cryptocurrency. Hack of Ethereum, which just so happened to coincide when hedge funds and institutions had the largest short position on Ethereum ever. Maybe they had a little gap to close. Maybe there is a little coordination taking place. And this is absolutely, it's 100% proven now, right? And the point being is if you're playing around at the casino, you got to expect that sometimes you're going to get cleaned. You're going to get your shirt taken. And so we want to stay safe. If you do use leverage, use a small amount. And if you play around in the meme coin space, be careful. And really, the casinos got it figured out. The gambling industry got it figured out. The best saying is, know your limit, play within it, which is easier said than done. And I know some of you degens are in the chat right now listening to me. And maybe you're one of the guys that had their shirt taken, okay? But the good news is that many of you guys that are listening to me, you keep your long-term holdings. You got all of your other spot positions. We're not just all in on leverage plays and all in on meme coins, right? If you're going to go to the digital casino, do so responsibly, know your limit, and play within it. But let's expand on cryptocurrency here. If you guys haven't already, please like this video. Please share it out. We're about to get into some juicy, good stuff here, okay? I do not have an adult beverage here tonight. I'm actually sipping. This is some Baron Beaver orange creamsicle from our Canadian brothers and sisters up north, actually. So cheers and God bless you, okay? I'm trying to support you guys, all right? I'm doing my part. Paying $2.50 for a healthy soda, which is why I got it, is because it doesn't have any of the crap in there, okay? Not an official sponsor. I just wanted to give a shout out to the Canadians, okay? Hope you're doing well, okay? Somebody said took out another mortgage. Yeah. Zach, what's your thoughts on? Yep. I'll get into that. Go buy some liquor, Zach. We'll wait for you. There was a little sickness that came through our house here lately. And so I'm taking a few days off, let's clean up the system a little bit, let it clean up a little bit. All right. So that's where I'm at. I woke up a few days ago and I had a pounding headache and I was like, what the heck? I'd had a couple adult bevies with you guys on a live stream, and then I wake up the next morning and I have a pounding headache, and I was like, what is going on? I only had a couple light lattes, and I come to find out that we had a little bug that went through us, but thankfully I got the least of it. I had it pretty easy, but no, the rest of the family's doing good, so we're all good up in here, but taking one night off of the adult beverage. Let's continue here. The SEC has closed its investigation into Uniswap. So another one bites the dust. This time it's Uniswap getting the pass. We're running out of cases here to, investigations and cases to dismiss, drop, postpone. We're running out of cases here quickly. The only one left here is going to be that Ripple case. Fred Rispoli chimes in. I don't know why the SEC versus Ripple is still going, considering other major cases, especially Coinbase, have been dropped. Clearly, the absence of Paul Atkins did not worry the current 3-member SEC commission on those large litigation issues. My best guess is that given the $125 million judgment, that is real money that Uyeda and Pierce do not want to have responsibility for modifying. Not a great excuse, shows cowardice, and that's what I like about Fred is he calls it like it is. But it does make some sense. The case is over regardless, either now or in a few months. So once again, this case is over regardless. You heard it here from me. I've been saying that the case is over. You heard it from Stu, and now we got it from Fred. And I think that he makes a good point here, and this is what folks need to understand. Why hasn't the Ripple case been settled up? There's a little bit more there to sort out, a little bit more to hash out. Ripple has a little bit of leverage to work with, more so than many of these other platforms. These other platforms don't have as much leverage as Ripple. Right, Ripple might not want to just get a drop, but might want to get, hey, we need the verbal that our IPO is going to be streamlined. Our IPO is going to be a smooth sailing process. And obviously there's $125 million on the line, which although it's not much for Ripple, they can cut that check. It's not a big deal. To Fred's point, the SEC wants to make sure that on their watch, they're not messing that up. And I just think that we're really waiting for them. They're going to roll it out at the proper time. It's just like the list. It's just like the flight logs. It's, Trump's saving that one. And so I think that the powers that be, whoever's in, whoever set up this world stage with the Ripple SEC show, they're waiting. And I will let you guys know too, I can't speak too soon, but I will just say that there are people working on behalf of XRP holders. I want you guys to know that. And there's going to be more updates to follow on that. But that's all I can say right now. There's people that are working on behalf of XRP holders, and we're going to do everything that we can to make sure that our people are taken care of. And the damages are massive. That's all I'll say on that. Now, let's talk about building. We got some exciting stuff that came on XRP Ledger developments today. This is Chris right here, XRP Ledger consultant, developer, and advisor. Huge shout out to Chris. Big developer in the XRP Ledger ecosystem. And the thing that we like about these developers like this is they're outside of Ripple. That's good. This is not just Ripple working on the XRP ledger. But this amendment right here, XLS 91, an inheritance solution for the XRP ledger. Now, I'm not going to go into this because I already recorded an update that's going to be dropping tomorrow morning where I'm going to be going in depth on the smart contracts, and I explain this amendment a little bit further as well. But I just wanted to show you guys here tonight. Tomorrow morning, first thing, I'll be dropping another update that's just on the smart contracts and this amendment that are coming to the XRP ledger. But today, I just want to make you guys aware that we got that one, an inheritance beneficiary amendment for the XRP ledger. And then we also got this massive announcement today from Mayuka. Okay. This is the Ripple X development team's extensibility team's proposed vision for XRP ledger programmability. This is smart contracts light is what I'm going to be calling it, okay? This is not full-blown smart contracts like Ethereum and other chains. This is smart contracts light, okay? And what they're doing with this is they're adding on to the features that we already have. They're calling it and referring to them as extensions. So think of all of the think of all the features that we already have: token, escrow, DEX, AMM. That beneficiary amendment that I just showed you guys is actually an extension on an existing feature that we already have, an escrow feature. And so we already have great tools and features on the XRP ledger. What this smart contract programmability that they're exploring does is just allows us to bolt on extensions to these features. So it's like we're not having to reconstruct the entire vehicle. We're just slapping on some better tires, right? We're putting in a new upgraded transmission, right? We're upgrading this thing so now it can go four-by-in. You know what I'm saying? To dumb this down for dummies like myself and maybe some of you guys out in the audience tonight, some of you guys that know this tech stuff more than me, right? I'll never pretend to, I do understand this at a decent level, right? And what I try to do is I try to simplify this stuff so that the average person can understand it. And what this is one of the most exciting developments to come to the XRP ledger since the AMM. Right, the big update that we got was XLS 20. That was for NFTs. That was a few years ago. And then we got the AMM XLS 30. That was a huge one because that brought in native liquidity pools to the XRP ledger. And we've already seen the total value lock on the XRP ledgers quickly approaching $100 million. So our DeFi system, our DeFi ecosystem starting to get cooking a little bit here, a little bit of traction. And now we're really about to dump gasoline on the fire, because what this will do is it allows people to add programmability to the XRP ledger without having to do amendments. So instead of having to go through the amendment process and rewrite the entire ledger, you just take an existing feature, you plug in or add on your code, which is in the form of an extension is what they're calling it. And this is where the programmability is going to come from. So let me break down this thread right here from Mayuka. We, the RX extensibility team, envision programmability on the XRP ledger as the glue that seamlessly connects its powerful native building blocks with flexibility of custom on-chain business logic. This vision focuses on preserving what makes the XRP ledger special, its efficiency, reliability, and simplicity, while empowering builders to unlock new possibilities. Instead of diving headfirst into a complex smart contract protocol spec, we want to take baby steps, as Joel Katz puts it, and that's David Schwartz. The first initiative, extensions or smart features. An extension is a small piece of code attached to an XRP ledger building block, which allows users to add some custom logic to the existing primitives. This can be very useful for projects that like the existing features of the XRP ledger, but need a minor modification to a feature to be able to use it. Feature plus extension equals smart feature. Okay. I hope that you're on track with this yet. Hopefully we haven't lost you. Primitives like tokens, escrows, and the DEX, which offer secure, robust, native functionality. Smart features allow us to lean into these strengths by enhancing what already exists rather than replacing it. By leveraging the existing toolkit of the XRP ledger, we can unlock powerful new capabilities while maintaining the simplicity and efficiency the network is known for. So now we move to Smart Escrows, the first extension. Smart Escrows will allow developers to write their own custom escrow release conditions without rebuilding the entire escrow primitive in a smart contract. So this is going to allow you to add on to additional ways that you can basically program and write an escrow. Basically, said asset needs to go to a certain price for an escrow to execute. Escrow 1 needs to finish and close off before escrow 2 can open up. I mean, whatever you want to add on to this, however you want to program or write out the escrow, you're going to be able to do that now. You know, we basically had a dumbed down version of all of these features on the XRP ledger, and now we get full blown customizable programmability that can be tacked onto these how you see fit. And you don't have to go through a full amendment process. You don't have to rewrite the ledger. You just bolt on your solution and get to work. It's very simple. It's basically like a pit stop, right? We don't have to rebuild the car. We're just putting a fresh set of tires on it and getting that sucker back on the road. That's what this is. We don't see smart contracts, we don't see smart features and smart contracts as mutually exclusive. Therefore, we've also published a smart contract spec outlining our ideas for how we can bring the smart contracts that everybody knows and loves to the XRP ledger in a way that makes sense for how the XRP ledger is designed. Starting with smart escrows instead of going straight to smart contracts allows us to test the virtual machine integration with a much smaller feature so that it's easier to protect against unforeseen errors and any issues will be much smaller and more limited. Now, they asked for feedback from the community. I want to roll real quick. I'm going to go to their blog post and then I'm going to show you their timeline for the rollout of this, okay? And this is very important. They're going to start with smart contracts instead of going into, they're going to start with smart escrows instead of going straight to smart contracts. So Q1 is early DevNet for smart escrows. Q2 is full functional smart escrow DevNet. Q3 is the release of smart escrows in an amendment for voting. And Q4 is smart contract on DevNet. So we don't get smart contracts on DevNet until Q4, the end of this year. So this whole process is going to take about a year to roll out, okay? Once again, we got to go through testing. We're going to try it out with smart escrow first instead of going to smart contracts, which allows us to test out the virtual machine integration with a much smaller feature so that it's much easier to protect against unforeseen errors and any issues will be much smaller and more limited. Up until now, our developers on the basically in the XRP Ledger ecosystem really couldn't do much. I mean, we didn't even have NFTs till what, 2022? I mean, we were way late to NFTs, AMM, etc. Now we had the first DEX, and we've had escrow, and we've had tokens. So you could tokenize and issued assets on the XRP Ledger the day we went live. We've had the basic features that you need to create a decentralized exchange since day one. And that's important. It's very, very important. But now we're going to start to give our developers something else to work with. When they show up to the job site, we don't just hand them the hammer. We got a full tool belt that's equipped with every tool imaginable that they need to go to work on building this masterpiece called the XRP Ledger. Now, this relates to a point here, and funny enough, a guy actually made a post about this today about not spreading ourselves too thin. I think that the approach of rolling out smart escrows first and then going to smart contracts later down the road is similar to what Stellar did with Sorabon smart contracts. They wanted to make sure that the Sorabon smart contracts on Stellar didn't bog down the Stellar network, because Stellar kind of has the same principles and features of the XRP ledger. I mean, it's a carbon copy. And so you don't want to bog down the ledger with smart contracts. So they did a phased in approach on the Sorabon. Even after they went from DevNet to going live on mainnet, they actually throttled down and controlled. They put a limit on how much smart contracts could pass through the Stellar network as to not bog down that throughput. And so similar, it looks like it's a phased in approach. We're going to be doing a lot of testing, a lot of playing, and I leave that up for the developers. And then I was telling Wifey today, I said, man, I wonder if our kids are going to appreciate the fact that daddy had to spend hours upon hours listening to a bunch of nerds talk on Twitter Spaces to help us take advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. Because sometimes I'm listening to these guys and gals and I'm just thinking, man, how did I end up here? But this is why we're in such a good spot, is because we've taken the time to understand this technology, at least to a basic enough level that we can make an educated investment, which is what this is all about. Right? I think that there's a lot of builders and devs playing around in the technical nuance and missing the forest through the trees, basically, because they're so busy talking about every little last detail, right? And at the end of the day, what matters now is that nobody's going to be able to say that they don't have the functionality, the programmability, and the features that they need on the XRP ledger to build. That will no longer be a problem. And what Ripple is going to be doing is they're going to help fund this ecosystem. They've already funded some companies that are already working on, and basically I've talked to some of these companies too. There's a company called Prop2, and I'm hoping to have them back on the show here soon. They're working on creating a marketplace for tokenized real estate, and eventually they want to do other forms of property as well, real world assets. And they're a company that's been working hand in hand with Ripple along with others. And these are companies that are already working on creating these businesses, creating these marketplaces, creating these programs. And now the XRP ledger is kind of converging basically right now on going live with these features that these businesses need. That's what's important. And this is why I've been saying that our DeFi is going to be exploding here in 2025. It wasn't just the AMM. It wasn't just the memes. That's just us playing around. These are the same feature sets, though, that'll be used for tokenizing trillions of dollars. Now, this guy, Kevin DeGods, put out this post, which the timing of this post tonight couldn't have been more perfect. In 2006, one man wrote a memo that destroyed his career. Silicon Valley blacklisted him, Yahoo executives mocked him, Wall Street ignored him, then Yahoo collapsed exactly as he predicted. Now he's back with an even bigger prediction. And I feel like that picture of Brad Garlinghouse is a little too nice. I think he should have used the locked in photo from 60 Minutes of Brad Garlinghouse. In 2003, Garlinghouse joined Yahoo as SVP of Communications. His mission was clear: revolutionize how people communicate online. He took charge of Yahoo Mail, Messenger, and Flickr, products used by millions daily. But beneath the surface, he spotted a critical flaw in the company's strategy. In 2006, he penned the now famous Peanut Butter Manifesto. The memo sent shockwaves through Silicon Valley. His message was bold. Yahoo was spreading itself too thin, like peanut butter on bread. While others celebrated growth, he saw the dangers of losing focus. And this comes back to, yes, we're late, but we're doing it right because we stayed focused on payments. Lean, mean, and robust and scalable for trillions of dollars of payments, right? I mean, this is where all the money comes from. We got the ledger ready for all the money, and we want to make sure that we don't lose that as we bolt on smart contracts, as we bolt on NFTs, as we bolt on AMMs, as we allow the degens to have a little digital casino here on the XRP ledger, which I do, show up to from time to time. Full transparency here, okay? I do go to that casino from time to time. And all of this is taking place on the same ledger that Ripple's going to be working with the biggest institutions around the world to create a new financial system. But listen to this clip of Brad Garlinghouse explaining the Peanut Butter Manifesto, and I think it just relates perfectly to how the XRP ledger, although it's been moving slowly, we're building it to last, and that's what counts. Take a listen.
And Brad came out with what became known as the Peanut Butter Manifesto. And it's famous, actually, not only at Yahoo, but in all of Silicon Valley. Do you want to say what the Peanut Butter Manifesto is?
It's famous in the echo chamber of Silicon Valley,
yes.
I think. But
on the show.
The premise was effectively that, like maybe many companies, Yahoo had increasingly spread itself quite thin. And the metaphor that had been used internally was, we spread around our investment capital like peanut butter. And I thought that was a terrible idea, and we should really decide we needed to understand our true north of what we wanted to be the best in the world at. And it was really an argument that the idea of spreading around resources like peanut butter is a bad strategy.
And, hindsight, now we look back and boy, was he right. And so what Ripple focused on first was payments, and that was the XRP ledger too, right? the XRP ledger, and we've always emphasized payments first. AMM, I wish that we would have had it sooner, because really this is about liquidity, but we got it and we did it right. We have a native layer 1 AMM, which is something that many other chains don't have. Ethereum doesn't have that. Uniswap is the AMM for Ethereum. You have all these other blockchains that have basically layer 2 solutions, or basically third-party smart contracts that have created their AMM. Versus on the XRP ledger, we got it built into the infrastructure, layer 1. You don't have to rely on anybody else to use that XRP ledger AMM. Now, Ripple focused on payments first. They've expanded into custody. They've expanded now into stablecoins. And now with this functionality, we can do whatever we need to do. This is the final thing to drop, right? And what I love is that we are already getting some of these amendments were in the pipeline, like lending, right? On-chain lending, I believe it's XLS 66. It's one of those amendments that's in the pipeline right now. On-chain lending would allow us to have native lending on the XRP ledger. This is another amendment that's going to help explode our DeFi. But see, all of these features that we've added with this one amendment that we got coming down here for smart contracts, it allows us to expand, or the term that they're using, put extensions on every single one of these features. Whatever you want to do, you build it, and they're going to come. Now, I wanted to share this too before I open it up for Q&A. This is Monica Long retweeting Bloomberg Crypto, reporting that PayPal plans to integrate its stablecoin into more of its products this year in an effort to address all of its merchants' needs through a single platform. Monica Long, the president of Ripple, says, sounds familiar. And so it's interesting because it's like PayPal in this aspect is trying to kind of catch up maybe to what Ripple's working on. Now, they've already had their stablecoin for a while, and it is well along its way and has been very successful. But it's interesting for me to watch, because in some aspects, we're way ahead of many other blockchains, and in other aspects, we've been behind. But the key point is that when we bring it on our ledger, we bring it natively to the XRP ledger, and we do it the right way. We build it to last. And what I'm hoping is that we can still have the security on the XRP ledger that we've come to know and love, so that we don't have kind of exploitive smart contracts like we just saw with Bybit. Bybit got hacked for $1.4 billion of Ethereum because they signed off, well, assuming it was a hack, right? Not an inside job, but let's go with the story that they're telling us. It was an Ethereum smart contract that was toxic, exploitive, and they blindly signed the transaction and then lost $1.4 billion of Ethereum. I'm hoping that the way that this programmability gets brought to the XRP ledger maintains our security and hopefully, doesn't allow us. I mean, that's the double-edged sword. More programmability, more features also allows for more hackers. I mean, look at the meme coin space, right? What's funny about that is you've actually been able to issue assets on the XRP ledger since we went live in 2012. It's just platforms like First Ledger came around in October and streamlined the process for creating a token, and hence we have meme season on the XRP ledger, and degens are flooding on over here to the XRPL. Okay, but this was a great day for XRP as we got all of this from a fundamental standpoint. I'm going to show you the chart here on XRP, and then I'll go into Q&A. You guys can start dropping comments and questions down below. Scary moment for Bitcoin as it did drop all the way down here to 86.2, big wipeout. But if we can hold this level right here, nothing to worry about. I got the vertical line here set on March 18th and 19th. That's the next Fed meeting. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens between now and there. I'm of the opinion that we are finishing up the February flush out, right? This is the February flush out right here. When you look, here's February 1, this day right here. Bitcoin was at 100,000. We closed off the day at 100,000, right? And then after that, boom, all the way down to 90,000 for Bitcoin. And then we went down even worse. But here's where it gets really nice, actually. See, Bitcoin just set a lower low. That's not good. What about XRP? We didn't set a lower low, not even close. And as a matter of fact, I actually told my Discord group, and I've said this on a couple YouTube, videos since. This is about a week and a half ago when I bought, this is the last time that I bought crypto. I didn't buy anything on this dip. I've been eyeing a few XRP meme coins and a few other assets too. I haven't bought anything yet, but I bought about a week and a half ago. And at the time, I told my Discord group, I think that the bottom is in. And what I meant by that was that $1.70 level that we went to for XRP, that was the bottom. And I said, yeah, we might go back to $2. We might get hit again. We want to hold 220, 225. That was the range between 220 and 250. It didn't happen. We got killed again. They nuked all the charts on us. But did that low come in? No, it did not even close. We didn't even go close. We only went down to $2.06. So my prediction that the bottom is in has held up. I don't want to speak too soon because who knows, they might hit us with something else this week. But it looks like the bottom has been in for XRP. We had the finishing February flush out that's just taken place over the past 24 hours, and the XRP price chart's ready to reverse, along with the rest of the broader market. And I want to show you guys here too. This is actually, let me pull up my messages. I'm going to give a shout out here to my friend Bunny Boy on Twitter. Okay. And he gave me an update on his XRP price chart that I thought was fascinating and that I would show with you guys here. Okay. And so this is the wave 5 of the 2017 fractal. So basically this is the finishing move of the 2017 fractal for XRP. And then this is our current price chart right here. Okay. And so it looks like very similar to the move that we made back there in 2017. And we should start to reverse course up here. And if we do follow that, it's going to be about a 222% move for XRP. This is the XRP market cap chart, not price. Please note that. Now, if we do the full extension here, we're actually going up about 381%. Where is that price-wise? Well, let me show you. It's pretty fun. Okay. We pop up 200%, we're talking about a $7 XRP. We pop up 381%, we're talking about a $10, $11 XRP. Now, when you stay zoomed out on this chart, there is just nothing to be worried about. Like I said, we did not set a lower low. We set a higher low, okay? Although it was scary for new people, a lot of people, getting worried here. We did not go set a new lower low. Our structure remains intact. And in fact, we're following previous fractals from 2017. We're lined up with the timeline from 2021. And I'm going to stay firm to my prediction that we're going to see a new all-time high for XRP in the next 60 days. I'm also going to stick to my prediction that the case with SEC and Ripple will be over by April 16th. Those are my predictions. I'm sticking to it. And, I haven't seen anything on the charts. I haven't seen anything from fundamentals that tells me I need to change those predictions, that I need to change that thesis. You guys let me know in the comments down below, and let's open this one up for comments and questions. Can we get some t-shirt giveaways? Yeah, so we actually have a giveaway right now for the Aussies, and there's actually 8 orders left for free shipping to Australia. So if you're in Australia right now, you can take advantage of that. We have free shipping giveaway that is currently still going on. Originally, it was 24 orders, and we're down to 8 orders left eligible for free shipping to Australia. And I should make everybody aware that we have made the shipping of the merch available worldwide. So no matter where you are tuning in from, we can get it to you. I don't know if that includes Antarctica, but I don't think we have any viewers from Antarctica in the chat. Okay? Appreciate you. Okay? If you guys haven't already, please make sure you like this video too. Drop a comment down below, question, and let's see what you guys are working with. What's cooking out there? Okay? Is it too late to get into XRP? I just showed you that it's pumping 200 to 300%. Is my estimate. How do I get a loan on my XRP? So there are some programs that are coming out. I would wait to make sure that we're going to get sustainable and secure yield, that we got some programs that can kind of prove themselves with a little bit of track record here. There's already programs that are coming out and taking XRP. Be careful out there, okay? Yeah, just make sure we're doing our due diligence. I'm not excited to, I'm not too excited on any of these programs yet myself. Doppler Finance came out, a few other programs have came out. None of them have sold me on giving up my XRP to them. 604 XRP, I appreciate the 6 spot. I appreciate that. You like that tweet? That was a good one. Yep. We got some funny characters in the chat. I tell you what. Yeah. 1970 Legend, thank you for the 10 spot, brother. How many free shippings to Australia are left? We got 8 left. Yep. We got 8. Blake, thank you for the 5 spot. Zach, do you think that Ripple's new XRT token with limited 100 million supply will negatively impact XRP's price? Ripple did not launch an XRT token. I don't know what you're talking about. They did RLUSD. That will not take away from XRP. That's actually bringing liquidity on chain to the XRP ledger that otherwise wouldn't be on chain. So RLUSD is complementary to XRP, as a matter of fact. Okay. Chosen One Collecting went to Washington for the first time. Spokane, scary AF. Yeah. They got some nicknames for that place, and I'm not going to repeat them here, but yeah. It's we got beautiful weather, and it's a nice place, but there's some things out here in Washington. I'll just leave it at that. What's my thoughts on Ninja's bad AI? Yeah, I just think that a lot of the AI plays are overhyped. I'm not sold on any of them. I don't own any AI tokens. I've taken a look at a couple. There's a token on the XRP ledger that's a meme coin, but they're doing some stuff with AI. I've taken a look at them recently. To me, AI is massive. Investing in the infrastructure, I think, is a great move. Investing in these tokens, though, I think is very risky. Personally. I look forward to seeing you at XRP Vegas again this year, Mary. And likewise, I can't wait to see all you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. Would it be wise to have fun and make some alternative plays in the crypto market while I wait for the SEC case to wrap up? See, man, yeah, but, we just want to make sure that we understand, what XRP is about to do here. Make sure that you have enough exposure to XRP. Make sure that you have enough exposure to some of these other altcoins. I mean, myself, I've done that. The most recent coins that I've bought have been Sologenic. That's Solo on the XRP ledger. I bought more Bitcoin Maxi Tiers, and then I did buy more, I bought Zoge for the first time too, and that's been a real runner. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm looking at, over the past 48 hours, I've been sitting here, I've been spending a lot of time right here looking over all of these projects, some of these coins that you guys want me to do deep dives on, which I'll be dropping some more deep dives next week. I'm going to be recording some of these deep dives this week and then dropping them next week. And so stay tuned for that. But I'll be honest, I'm looking at a lot of these plays and I'm like, okay, I can invest in some of these other altcoin utility plays that, might get me a 3 or a 5 bagger. But I also, if I dive in here into the XRP trenches, some of these meme coin plays happen just so much faster. It's no comparison. Now, it's way more risky of a bet, but I can tolerate that risk. And I have my understanding, and I understand to know my limit and play within it when I go to the XRP digital casino. And to me, just having a tough time, it's like make an allocation towards an altcoin with some utility and a little narrative and a little story and or find that momentum in the trenches and you can get that, we could just flip it a lot quicker. No comparison, really. And obviously, I don't do any meme coins on Solana or any other ecosystem. I don't believe in it. It's kind of hypocritical. I only believe in memes on the XRP ledger. And I know a lot of people don't want memes on the XRP ledger. I understand. But it's all about, just like with the smart contracts, you got to keep the ledger permissionless, right? So, and I mean, I'll be honest too, with some of these altcoins, it's hard to distinguish between whether or not they're a real utility coin or whether they're a meme coin because they got a story, but can they back it up with real adoption and partnerships? That's the question. That's the real question. Texas in the house. What's up, Boogie? Good to see you. Memes on XRP ledger are a multiplier. And that's why I like it, is because I'm making more XRP, right? I used to trade futures, and I would be trading futures right now if I had a platform that allowed me to. Nobody wants to service me up here in where I live at. But I didn't feel comfortable holding Tether. And, I was mostly shorting Bitcoin, and I made good money doing it. But at any time, I was just worried that I was going to get liquidated by something crazy happening on the charts. I was worried holding Tether. I was worried being on Qcoin that they were just going to say, hey, we found out that you're in the United States and we're going to shut you down. And they did. Thankfully, I was able to convert my Tether to XRP, and I pulled a bunch of XRP off of Qcoin when they found out who I was and then kicked me off their platform. So I was able to stack up more XRP in that case. But now I can just trade directly on the XRP Ledger DEX, make more XRP, and not have to rely on any centralized exchanges, not have to hold Tether, and not have to short, which I guess is nice. I don't think there's anything wrong with shorting. I think that there's something wrong with naked shorting and that type of manipulation. I don't believe that we should ban shorting, though. I know some people think that too. I'm a free market libertarian, and I believe that shorting is actually a healthy tool to express your view on an asset. I do, and it's a good way to hedge too. Yep, but I firmly believe that this case will be over by April 16th. That's the day that Ripple requested to reply. I think that we'll be done by then. Jack Jacobson, thank you for the 10 spot. I appreciate that. Let's go. I got to catch up on our super chats here. Dennis, thank you for the 5 spot. I think more Tether carnage is coming. U.S. rumored to be sanctioning Tether. Effects on Sol, ETH, Bitcoin, in the entire market. Short-term opportunity, or short-term buying opportunity. Yeah. Tether right now, I think, is actually depegged. Let me pull up CoinMarketCap real quick, and I can fact check that. Yeah, so Tether is depegged right now slightly. Okay, so Tether has lost its peg here today. And I actually noted that over the weekend. I showed you guys how the highest volume on Coinbase over the weekend was Tether to USDC and Tether to US dollars. It was basically people were dumping Tether on Coinbase like crazy. And we saw this on other exchanges too. And this relates back to the CEO of Bybit saying that they had a Tether shortfall and they were going to have a liquidity crunch. But when you're an exchange and you have a liquidity crunch, you just go nuke the charts and you go collect 500 million in liquidations. And despite Ben saying that, 100% of those liquidations aren't profit, well, of course, you got a business to run. But let's be real, Ben. It's a very highly profitable business to be in. It's one of the most profitable businesses to be in, being an exchange. Imagine being a digital casino where not only is the casino rigged in your favor, but you actually get to read, you get to see you get to see the gambler's hand as well. That's how these markets work. They get to see the order books, they get to see all the orders come in, and they know exactly where to take it to on the XRP price chart or any of these other charts to achieve max pain. That's this chart right here, XRP liquidation map. And what it shows us is that they took XRP down to the point where there was no more longs. They beat up the price so low that it took out all longs. Okay? Prod LB, when we reach our local top soon, where do you see us coming back down to before we eventually go back up at the end of the year? God bless. Yeah. So I think that we're going to be coming back down to $3 to $4. I think that that'll be the floor price after we go up to 7, 8, maybe $10 for XRP, this spring. I think that we'll come back down to $3 to $4, the previous all-time high, and that'll be the new floor price. That's my take right now. We'll see how that plays out. And then I don't believe that we'll be going to higher prices till later on this year. I think that we get hit with something else. We're watching the market break right now. And I think that the big thing to watch here is going to be the run up to this Fed meeting. If we start to get a little bit of anticipation of the Fed stopping with the quantitative tightening and maybe going more to a neutral stance on that, not necessarily moving to easing, but at least stopping the tightening while we're already tracking liquidity supply growing. That's going to be very bullish for this market. Doge thoughts. I have some. I will be gone by $1. I don't think that Doge is that great. I don't think that any of the old memes are great. I think that they're all, I won't say dead. They don't have any momentum. All of this stuff taking place with Doge, and Doge isn't doing anything. I'm not going to call it dead, but they're in a coma. The OG memes are in a coma. And it's because people are chasing the new memes. That's what's happening. I always blame everyone else but the Ripple Corporation and executives. Well, what would I have to blame them for? They've done nothing but expand our ecosystem, invest in our ecosystem, bring banks and institutions to our ecosystem. There's nothing to blame. No, you don't know what you're talking about. Ripple didn't dilute the market because they're not even selling programmatically to exchanges. They haven't done so since 2019. There's a very small trickle of XRP that's actually reaching the exchanges, that's trickling down from their institutional partners that have XRP left over after they use it for their own utility. So, show where the volume is from the partners. Once again, people that don't understand this stuff running their mouse, a normal troll that's usually on my platform. So let me break this down. So some people might not know this. Ripple's on-demand liquidity flows was happening over the counter. It was happening between centralized exchanges. Now, at the end of last year, they noted how they were going to be moving this to the DEX. We didn't have an AMM that they could move the liquidity to, but now we have an AMM that they could move the liquidity to. And a point on that is it's going to be the permission DEXs. I think that's going to be very interesting because the permission DEXs will allow, basically to have a controlled AMM liquidity pool. Basically, the people participating in the pool will be vetted, will be KYC'd. And so if you wanted to basically have an AMM liquidity pool that only was accessed by central bankers, you could do so on the XRP ledger, right? Ripple just brought, with their partner, the Brazilian stablecoin to the XRP ledger, right? So what is there to blame Ripple for? There is nothing. Besides, we can accredit the major success that XRP is so far, and where it's going is going to be a large part to Ripple and the broader ecosystem of developers and builders and businesses that are working on the XRP ledger as well. Okay. Besides XRP, who is your number 2 and why? It's XLM, chosen one collecting. I appreciate your super chat. It is XLM, and it's just because it tracks so closely with XRP. That's the main reason. They're sneaky over there at Stellar. They sneak up on you. Yeah. Jack Jacobson, thank you for the 10 spot. John Wayne, thank you for the 10 spot. Not sure if limit orders will actually go through due to limits of $25,000 max on everything. John Wayne, this may be something to take a look at. If you're running into any sort of limits like that, there are other platforms and options out there for you. And I was just talking about this with Caleb and Brown the other day. So I've been talking with some people here recently that, they need to cash out millions. They need to cash out a lot of XRP, 6-figure XRP, 7-figure XRP, 8-figure XRP, right? And the problem is that even on some of these platforms that offer institutional, institutional accounts, they're still hitting you on fees and limits, and you shouldn't be running into that. And you really don't want to be running into that when you got millions of XRP, tens of millions of XRP. And, even some of these platforms, they're going to limit you down to, 10,000 per day, 20,000 per day. And so that's why I've added Caleb and Brown to my platforms that I use, is because I've loaded up some XRP over there. When the time comes, I can find liquidity on Coinbase, Uphold, and Caleb and Brown. But the beautiful thing is that I have no limits or fees on my withdrawals from Caleb and Brown and Coinbase. So, John Wayne, you may want to look at a platform like Caleb and Brown. I have them linked up down below. Would appreciate your support if you do use my link. Thank you very much. But even if you don't use them, there are some other platforms. I pay for Coinbase Advanced. It's $30 a month, but my trading fees are 0 up to a certain point. And then after that, it's 0.75%. So it's 75 basis points trading fee. It's next to nothing with no limit and no withdrawal fee. So I have a good deal set up on Coinbase. I just don't trust Coinbase. That's the main problem I have with them. But limit orders and limits is, it's frustrating. That's why I use a few different exchanges, and that's also why I use the DEX. I got myself 4 or 5 different options, right? Between Uphold, Coinbase, Caleb and Brown, and the DEX. I have options for getting out of XRP or back into XRP or trading on the XRP ledger. Yeah. Ripple is now under accumulation by sponsors of upcoming ETFs. XRP is disappearing quick. Escrow down to 37 billion. Dennis, you're correct. You're correct. And we're going to have to watch that closely because the pace at which Ripple could be distributing the XRP could really pick up here if they start funding those ETFs. And then as their institutional partners go live in the US too, we could see even more of that XRP that's coming out of escrow being sold off to their partners. Yeah. And by the way, that won't have any negative impact on price of XRP because all of those trades are happening OTC. And that XRP is not really trickling down to the exchanges and to the platforms that sell to retail. That XRP is basically being kept at an institutional level, which is why the XRP that's available for retail continues to dwindle. The DEX, yes, the decentralized exchange that's built into the XRP ledger. It's one of the best features of the XRP ledger, and many people don't even know we have it. I don't F with XCN, and I don't think that Zach does besides taking profit. Yeah, Jax Jag. With XCN, I did the deep dive on it. I would highly recommend everybody watch that. Whether you like XCN or don't like it, you should watch it because I think that there's some points that I made in there that are very good and should be considered. But I also laid out some targets for XCN. I do think that it still will run up higher, but I definitely did sell off 75% of my bag after it did pump. I made a little over 100% on that investment, which is nothing compared to what some of you guys made. But I was very vocal at the time about how, I thought that it had extended pretty far, and I was happy to take my profit on it. I didn't sell the tippy top, but I was able to secure my bag. And then I still have 25% of my bag that I'm holding in XCN, and I will look to exit that between 10 cents and 19 cents. What I would encourage you guys to, somebody said Spokompton. I didn't want to say it earlier. I didn't want to say Spokompton earlier. I didn't want to offend anybody from Spokompton. But yeah, that's what we call it around here. And I lost track of what I was going to answer. Tried using my link for Caleb and Brown, and there's an error code. If you go to my website, zachrector.com, and you go to community resources, the link there will take you right there, and that one should be fine. Sometimes if you copy paste, if you don't get the link correctly, that'll happen too. But yeah, it should be working. Yeah. So, one more point that I'll make on these exchanges and platforms. There's a few things that you're going to get hit on. One is going to be slippage. And the slippage is what the market price is at versus where your order executes at. For example, when I went to sell on Uphold, XRP was at $3.06. It was the first time the XRP had gone above $3, so the order book was very thin. There was not many people that were willing to buy XRP above $3 because it was the first time in about 6 years that XRP had gone above $3. So, excuse me, at the time, there wasn't a list of buyers waiting to buy XRP at $3. So I placed my order at 306, and it was a market order, and so it didn't execute at 306. It executed at 298. So you got to be careful here. You're going to get hit on slippage. You're going to get hit on trading fees. Then you're going to get hit on withdrawal fees. So when you go to cash out to your bank account, they might hit you for another fee, depending on what platform you're using. Then you might get hit with a withdrawal limit. So for example, if you need to cash out $100,000, but you can only cash out 10,000 at a time, you're going to have to withdraw 10 times and pay that fee 10 times. Now, you see how this starts to add up very quickly? Now, especially too, with you're talking about selling off 100,000 XRP, 500,000 XRP, a million XRP, these fees, although 1-2%, and these limits might not seem like that bad until you tally it all up, and then you realize, wow, I might get taken to town when I go to sell some of my XRP. And this is why you should consider platforms like Caleb and Brown is one that I've added. And I still have a bunch of my XRP on Uphold too. XRP that I plan on selling this bull run. And, once again, we're here to conduct a business deal. Each one of these platforms brings different services and products and offerings to their platform for you. And, depending on your jurisdiction too, you get access to other platforms. But for me, I feel pretty comfortable right now with my trifecta. The Holy Trinity, Uphold, Coinbase, and Caleb and Brown. And that's just what I use. I haven't looked at adding any others recently. Okay. Keep talking. XRP is going up. Have a drink on me tomorrow when you are on next. Where is XRP at? And guys, this is the crazy thing is that XRP actually finished the day green. All that freak out, all that panic, and XRP actually closed the day higher than where it started at. Check it out. This is the XRP price chart, and here's the daily candle. It actually turned green. After going all the way down here, it bounces back up and finishes off the day green. Love to see it. And then once again, if we pull our Fibonacci extension and we extend all the way up, we're talking about running up to $10. Now on the low side, we follow that 2017 fractal. We clear up here into the Fibonacci extension. It's a range between $7 and $10, and it comes in very soon. It comes in very soon. Let me show you the chart here once again. I'll pull it up right here. This is the XRP market cap chart. Huge shout out to Bunny Boy. Okay. This is a friend that I've made in the meme coin space. But what I found in this meme coin space is that it's not all degens. It's not all crazy guys. It's not all silly stuff and tokenized stupidity. Now, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of tokenized stupidity, but there's some good guys and gals in there too. Okay. Why don't I trust Coinbase? Because they stole my songbird. And I just think that they are in bed with the government. And I think that if the likes of Elizabeth Warren and Kamala had won the election and they got their way, I think that Coinbase would have been over, to be honest. So I think that Coinbase is the government. They're basically hand in hand with them. Coinbase Prime is being used by the government to hold custody a lot of the government's crypto, which we can't even seem to find now. A bunch of the Bitcoin went missing under the Biden administration, apparently. So we'll find out where that was at. Did I see what John Reed Stark said about the SEC case? What did he say recently? We don't have hats yet. Hats are coming soon. We're about to be placing our order. And I had to get these mock-ups. Basically, these were all just a test run. to see how these patches came out. And right now we're looking to add, I want to hear your guys' feedback. We're looking to add the Yapung snapbacks, but I've heard from people that these are very small. And so we're also adding the Richardson 112s. That's this hat right here. These are the Richardson 112s. So we're going to add these hats, and then we're going to add the snapbacks. Is there any other style hat that you guys would like to see, though? I'm out of the hat game. Shout out to my XRP barber, by the way. I did go get my hair cut today. I got a really good barber now. He might end up listening to this show here tonight. I'm not going to shout him out. I don't want to put him on blast like that, but I do want to give him a shout out. I have I have a really good time now going to get my hair cut because I get to talk markets and other stuff. It's a lot of fun. But I've been out of the hat game, so I'd be interested to hear from you guys. Flex fit, I've been hearing people say that. Yeah. Is that for you melon heads out there? I better not say melon head. I might get in trouble. Is that what you guys need, is a flex fit? Okay, we'll get a flex fit then too. Okay. Consider it done. And the beanies are coming too. Yes. Okay. Okay. Is the Zalman wallet safe for long-term holding? I believe it is. It's a self-custody wallet. It's just not full-blown cold storage because it still has access to the XRP ledger and you can interact with the DEX straight from that wallet. So it's not a true cold wallet, but it is self-custody where you get the keys to your wallet, and that's what's important. So I do think that Zalman is, fine. But if you do want to, add cold storage too, that's also, nice to have a couple different wallets. I'm about to be creating a new wallet here. Probably won't get around to it tonight, but tomorrow, about to be creating a new wallet for trading my memes. I got too many eyeballs, too many people trying to track me down, follow my trades. Don't follow my meme coin trades, okay? You can't find me on the XRP ledger other than my public wallet that I have linked up down below. We are accepting XRP tips, NFTs, and I do have the Sigma Trust line open up there too. So if you do want to send me a little tip that way, you can. But that's the only wallet you're going to be able to find of mine, okay? I know you little sneaky degens are out here. I was going to put out the tweet today. I was going to say, hey, for all you degens that are coming to the XRP ledger, you should know something. Okay, I didn't get the nickname Shooter by accident. Okay, I earned the nickname Shooter back in the day. I'll leave it up to your imagination. But I was nearly a flawless quickscoper back in the MW2 days. Okay, 360 quickscopes. You guys would get wrecked in a 1v1 against me. So when it comes to the XRP memes, for you degens who think that you're going to come in here, we're going to 360 no-scope you from across the map, okay? And that's the only reason why I like the memes, is because the memes is PvP. When you make XRP, you're taking somebody's XRP. But to me, you should be going there with that understanding that you might fall. You might lose. You might have to give it up. And I'll tell you what, I've given it up on a few of these plays. I got collateral damage on a few of these. Oh, what a cute little community, man. These guys are really hustling, onboarding spaces. This is good. Let me go support their token. Nuked. Thanks for playing. So, yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. If I don't trust Coinbase, why do you 360 no scope out the second floor window? Shane knows what I'm talking about. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I'm about to put a montage together of sniping you little degens coming here. Those were the classic days. Let's see here. Zach, I need a hat. I'm follically impaired. That's a good one. I like that. Last question. If you don't trust Coinbase, why do you use them? The fees are low. And I think that they're going to be, they're going to stick around, right? They're going to stick around. It's just, they took our Songbird. I never got my Songbird from them. And many of you guys, you never got your Songbird from them. So they withheld an airdrop from us. That was wrong. They took forever to get us our Flare. That was wrong. And I use them because I don't have many options in the United States, especially in my state. My state is one of the worst states for crypto businesses to work in. Nobody wants to do business in my state, and I don't blame them. I barely want to either. So that's why I still use Coinbase. And I use Coinbase right now for all my trading on just like regular altcoins, right? That's the platform that I'm using for just trading my regular coins. And then obviously I'm using First Ledger, XP Market, X Magnetic, and the DEX on the XRP ledger for trading the memes around. What state is it? Washington State. Yeah, so I'm in Washington State and nobody wants to do business here. Yeah, same in Canada. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. I Trust Capital opened up a non-401k, so check them out. That's interesting. That's interesting. Radiant AI is my go-to crypto plumber. That's actually a token that I was been looking at over the past day or so. Do you go out to Northern Quest much, Zach? I don't know what that is. Reading comments and questions right now, guys. I'm going to go here for just another few minutes here, and then I'm going to wrap up this episode right at the 1.5 hour mark. So let's just go final questions, comments, drop them down below. Have I used Doppler Finance? No. And I saw some people were having delays on their withdrawals. It looks like those did get fulfilled. But a little worrisome just how it was handled. And it still, to me, is not clear where they're generating the yield from. Obviously, they're creating this token, this DP token, I think is what it's called. And apparently they're going to use some bots. They got quants on their team for trading, and they got some arbitrage strategies. That's the same song and dance that basically everybody tells you. So, what's the track record? There is none because they're brand new. And this is going to be the tough part about doing due diligence on these platforms is that, it's not their own fault that they don't have a track record because we don't have any DeFi on the XRP ledger. They haven't had an opportunity to build a track record. But what I'd like to see is, hey, we have quants on our team that are going to deploy arbitrage trading strategies to make money and to generate yield for you. And here they are. Let me show you their faces. This is a veteran high-frequency trader that we brought over from Goldman Sachs. Hey, this is some other big hitter that used to be in some other deal, right? Show me who's running this, who's going to generate the yield. And even if they did, I still want to invest because I just don't like that idea. I don't like the idea of the yield gets generated off of somebody else trading. That's not sustainable for me because 9 out of 10 traders lose. It's just not sustainable. So even if they said, oh, we have the best quants in the world and we got the best bots in the world, you're still not getting my XRP. You're just not. It's going to take a lot to get my XRP out of my hands for a DeFi platform. It's going to take a lot. I have more willingness to go to Bank of America and have them take 10,000 XRP as collateral for a loan on something than I do to go to a DeFi protocol. That's just where I'm at with this. I'd rather make 5% sustainably than hand it off to somebody who's got a story to tell me, no track record to sell me on, but they got to trust me, bro. That's not a deal for me. That will never be a deal for me. And I personally don't think it should be a deal for anybody here. But I'm not going to tell you what to do or give you financial advice. But that's personally where I stand. Now, the other thing is as these DeFi programs come about, maybe I will see something that is interesting. And I will report back at that time. But right now, it's going to be a strict due diligence that everybody's going to have to go through over here. And I'm really excited to do the due diligence on these platforms. It's been funny because some of them have reached out to me and they want to be friends. And most people want to be friends with me until they realize, oh crap, he's not going to he's not going to just gloss over some of these things. He's actually going to dig in. He's actually going to demand answers. And I'm not going to sell my community some BS. So everybody wants to be friends with me until then. And then they realize, oh crap, he's not going to take our check. He's not going to sell out his community. Maybe let's go. Let's we can go work on some of these other influencers. It always amazes me every day, the messages that I get from projects that want me to play around. And I just think, man, do you know who you're talking to? Like, have you seen my content? Now, maybe now they see me trading some memes here and there a little bit and they think, oh, maybe now he'll play along. No. I'm still not playing along with you. I'm just doing some degen plays. Nothing to see. Okay. With that being said, guys, if you missed the update this morning, it was a great deep dive on the liquidation event. So if you want a little bit more understanding on that, this morning's video will have you covered on that. I hope you guys appreciated this live show here tonight. And like I said, I already recorded an update that I'll be dropping tomorrow morning. And this update will go through the smart contract functionality a little bit more in depth. Okay. I didn't want to fill up tonight's show with a deep dive on the smart contracts. And so I created a separate video that'll be dropping first thing tomorrow morning. And you can make sure that you don't miss that update by making sure you have subscribed, hit that notification bell, and I'll be dropping it at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. So we'll start off the morning there, and then we'll also be taking a look how the day progresses tomorrow. We have some economic data coming out this week that'll be interesting to take a look at, revised GDP amongst a few other data points that I'll be looking at. And I think that the market has bottomed out for now. I think that we are going to be moving higher. So right now I'm looking over. I actually have already picked one meme coin that I'm going to be making a move on. I told my Discord group about that today. And that's how I operate, is I give my community the opportunity to front run me. I'm like, hey guys, I found this coin. I'm going to make a move on it in the next 24 to 48 hours. If you guys want to front run me and dump on me, you can. Okay. But I'm just telling you right now that I'm going to make the move. So that's how I operate. And so, yeah, I have found the next meme coin that I am going to move on. And then I'm looking over the market right now for some other opportunities. And I'm going to be recording deep dives and coin reviews that'll be lined up for you guys for next week as well, too. So just stay tuned here with us. All of my community resources are available at ZachRector.com. I really appreciate your support. I appreciate that everybody's staying level-headed despite the coordinated chaos that we've just gone through. You have survived the February flush out. Now we go higher. Okay. God bless all of you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great evening. Thank you so much.